So I've decided that I'm not going to do an episode of Friday Night Comics tonight because I've got 3 books on the way that I want to include in that video. So I'm just going to wait for them to get here, and that way next week when I do film it, they'll have a lot more. It'll have a lot more content in it. So sorry about that. I can't imagine everybody's that disappointed. But for those that actually look forward to the comic book videos that I do, I'm not doing one this week, but I will definitely be back next week with a new one with a focus on raw key books from the Bronze Age. And anyway, in the meantime, I do have something I want to show. A couple weeks back, I reacquired this awesome Ken Griffey Jr. baseball game for the Super Nintendo. Maybe my all-time favorite baseball game for any video game system. RBI Baseball maybe being a close second, but I love this game. I don't know why I sold it the first time around. And so what I'm going to do is, if this guy didn't already do it himself, I'm going to go and change all the rosters to the real players, which, you know, they have the Major League license, but not the player's license, so you have to change all the names. And I hope the battery is still good, because this is a battery-backed game, and I'm not sure how they hold up 20-odd years later. So we'll see, and I may make a gameplay video with this. I started a new sort of playlist called the Gamma Wave Arcade, where I'm essentially going to go through and just pick random video games I own and play a little bit of them. Gamma Wave because the Delta Wave Arcade name was already taken. So be on the lookout for that. And then also another game, Nintendo 3DS of Dragon Quest VII. This came out a week or so ago. And I love Dragon Quest games. I've never played this one. It's going to be my first 3D sort of, I guess, not a top-down game like 4, 5, and 6 were. The only thing with this is my intentions are good. I do want to play it. I probably got to put about 100 hours into this to get the most out of it, but I'm really lousy at committing to a game. And I say that because, for example, I was really excited about Batman Arkham, whatever the most recent Batman game is for the Wii U, and I started that 2 years ago, and they got like 7% of the way through it, and just haven't picked it up since. I just such poor commitment to finishing games. But I do want to play this eventually, so I got it now because it's like one of those games that probably will go out of print quickly, and then if you want one later on, you have to pay an arm and a leg for it. So I'd rather get it now and be done with it. So when I am ready to go, I have it in my library. And the last thing I want to show is probably really boring to most people, but I'm super excited about what I got in the mail today from Amazon. And it is this massive collection of Star Wars artwork from Ralph McQuarrie. This is a Star Wars art book. There's 2 volumes here. This thing is absolutely massive. And it came out this week. And Ralph McQuarrie was the original concept artist for the Star Wars movies. And I was always fascinated by what he did. I was exposed to some of his artwork in like early magazines back then, especially on the 1980 Topps Empire Strikes Back card set. There was artwork cards that featured his art. So this essentially, I think, gathers everything he's done for Star Wars. What's interesting is I saw somebody online had this book, and they did like an unboxing. And there's some elements from way back that showed up in The Force Awakens, which I thought was kind of interesting. I think like the thing from Nema Outpost. So anyhow, I like this kind of shit. I love big books like this, Star Wars related. In fact, there's another one coming out in a few weeks, The Making of The Force Awakens. And that'll go nicely with the 3 other making of Star Wars books that I picked up over the last 3 years. Same author, I think it's Rinzler, J.R. Rinzler. But to give you a sense of how ridiculously massive this volume is, it's 21 and a half pounds for this Star Wars art book. So again, probably boring to a lot of you, but whatever, not me. Super excited to dig into this over the weekend. I'm not going to open it now and flip through it, but I may make a follow-up video where once it's open, maybe I'll just go through and flip through. If you want to see it. If you don't want to see it, I won't do it. But that's it. So no comic books tonight, but next week for sure. And if I don't do anything between now and then, I'll see you next Friday.